I admit it. I've been driving Mustangs since the 60s, and I always believed you gotta have a V8 engine if you want to have fun driving them. But times have changed, and so have I. Sure, this new Mustang only has a 2.3 liter 4-cylinder engine, but what a 4-cylinder engine. It puts out 310 horsepower and 320 pounds of torque. Now you might very well ask, how does such a small engine put out 310 horsepower? Well, here's how. First, it uses gasoline direct injection. With gasoline direct injection, it's more like a diesel. There's a regular fuel pump that pumps fuel from the gas tank up top here. Then this mechanical pump boosts it up to 3,000 psi. Then that high pressure fuel is pumped the whole way to the fuel injectors on the rail, which are direct injectors. They inject fuel right into the cylinders. And that's a more efficient way of distributing the fuel, so you get more power and better gas mileage at the same time. Heck, I got 32 miles a gallon when I drove it going 55 miles an hour. Not that I drove 55 miles an hour for all that long. Because realize, the faster you drive, the worse your gas mileage you get. And I'm a pretty fast driver, so my wife would get 32 miles a gallon, but I won't. Now the other way it makes so much power is with this twin-scroll turbocharger. It's a modern design turbocharger that works almost like two turbochargers, but it doesn't have turbo leg like two turbochargers often will have. And if you look at the front of the engine, you'll see there's a fan belt. It runs the water pump, it runs the alternator, and it runs the air conditioner, but there's no power steering pump. And that's because it has electric power steering. That further gets you better gas mileage. And you can use that power in many ways. As you can see now, it idles quite smooth. You can set it up for just normal driving. Or you can flip one switch, turn the traction control off and drive a little bit harder. And you can flip another switch and you make steering feel normal, sport, or comfort. Since it has electric power steering, the computer can adjust it lots of ways. But my favorite is the last button, the mode button. You hit that, you can drive normal, you can drive sport, you can drive track, or you can drive snow or wet. Of course, you know what I'm going to pick. I'm going to run it on track, even though you're supposed to only do that on the track. That's why it's got a little helmet sitting on the bottom warning you. That turns a lot of the speed controls off. Unless you get into a really extreme situation, then it will put traction control and stuff back on. Because realize, modern day racing cars even have traction control. It's on the far end of traction control, but it's still there to keep them from killing each other. But I do have to say, one thing surprised me about this Mustang. My wife actually liked it. And that's because she didn't like the way they rode. She said they were too bumpy. But since Ford redesigned the rear suspension to join the 21st century, and they now have fully independent suspension in the back, they really do ride a lot better. She didn't know anything about this at all. She just knew that it rode a lot better and she liked driving it. So if you're thinking about getting a new pony car, you might think 4-cylinder this time. And I doubt if those 310 ponies will let you down. Remember, if you've got any car questions, visit the Scotty Kilmer channel.